A B2B fintech is thinking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars when they want to work with you. And they know that the likelihood of things going wrong is low, because before we even get to that stage that I want to do business with you, we'll do due diligence. We ensure you're regulated. We ensure that your system, works. We speak with you. We have an interview, and then you sort of have some confidence.
Welcome to the Colleton podcast. And this, of course, is our very first episode. And we are very honored to have with us here Toyosi Abolarin on the stage. Toyosi is someone that I've known for a very long time. I think it's about 10 years. That's like
Should be more than
decades.
that.
Right. Right. And one of the things I really love about Toyosi is that he's one of the few people that really inspires me to do a lot of great things in the world today, because he's always pushing for the best things that we can achieve for ourselves and for others. With building products, even with family, I really, really, really appreciate everything you do with your family. Like it's really good and it's great to see. So thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And yeah, how are you feeling?
I am good. I'm good. I feel honored. Subomi or Ola or Archibong as is one of my favorite people in the world. I remember how we met. How we've always been working together. Yeah. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for also inspiring me with your excellence. You're one of the people that puts your art to anything that you do. So thank you so much, Ola.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Let's jump right into it, because I know you're a busy man. So let's jump right into it. Okay. So in your experience, right, what signals or cues make a fintech brand feel trustworthy? Right? What, like, to your users, what are those cues, those signals that say yes, this brand is a very good fintech brand?
You know, based someone that has been in the financial technology space for, I think, maybe 8 years now. I have seen the patterns, and this is how it typically works. And I'll use my experience. So the very first product I worked on was B2B, and with B2B fintech, you just need one believer. Your first focus is one believer, one person to say, please trust me, I can solve this problem for you. Once you get that one believer, the rest is history, because the customers know themselves. Especially businesses interact with themselves. Businesses say, this is why, this is the problem I'm solving. That is one. Get one believer. Two, because it's a fintech, you need a regulatory backing. So which is you need to have a license. So what gives a customer confidence to work with you is that, okay, this guy has a license, is regulated by someone. So if anything happens, I know I can hold the regulator responsible. Sometimes working with the regulator also helps, because the regulator will say, oh, we release a new list of approved financial institutions. We release a new list of, we are now working with these guys. So it sort of build confidence. That's on the B2B fintech. On B2C fintech side, that's, the everyday customer is the same
Yeah.
queues. The same queues apply, but they are, I would say, crazier. And I'll tell you why. A B2B fintech is thinking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars when they want to work with you. And they know that the likelihood of things going wrong is low, because before we even get to that stage that I want to do business with you, we'll do due diligence. We ensure you're regulated. We ensure that your system, works. We speak with you. We have an interview, and then you sort of have some confidence. But a customer, this is the pattern. And for someone who is building a remittance platform, because for us, what we are doing is we are trying to solve remittance problems for Africans who want to send money from their local countries, offshore, and also from offshore back home. One thing we've noticed is the first time a customer comes to our platform, they do the KYC. They don't start with sending a big amount. Even my friends who say, "Oh, Toyosi, oh, I see you are solving this problem. I want to use your app." You find out that they come and say, "I send $10 first, or I
Right.
send $5." Then they say, "Okay, it works." Then they will send $100. Okay, it works. Then they will now send $8,000,
Keep
and
going
then
up.
yes, they start building that pattern. Or sometimes some download the app, some they don't even do anything. They'll say, "Let me watch out, let me see if this company is still going to be here for another 2 weeks or another 1 month."
Right, right, right.
And then then when they see it works, they see the experience. Oh, it's fast, the user experience is smooth. Then they start referring. I can tell you today, and it's a stat that I know 70% of our customers today are from referrals, because it's someone who has used it and see that it works. They are the person that will tell their friends, and that's why you see a lot of fintech or remittance company or cross-border payments company. They always have a referral link. They will say, "Oh, you earn $10 for referring your friend," because they know that when it comes to dealing with people's money, people want to deal with people. People want to say, "Oh, my guy, you told me to use this app. Now my
Mm.
money is gone. Now I put,
Yeah,
put
yeah, 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 yeah.
yes." So yeah, so that's
No, no, I
what I.
think you're spot on. Right from the get go, when you mention about just get that one believer, if it, I flash back to, that the fintech space in Nigeria, right? Just to give a context here, is anytime like a big fintech or like a bank does something, right? And it works, right? After some time, you see that the other banks already start
That's
adopting it, right?
yes,
Right, because
yes,
they've seen that it works with their customers.
yes.
But let's flash back a bit. You are the founder of Yolat. Yolat is a remittance company, fintech company. Can you tell us more about Yolat, please?
Okay, so the problem we are trying to solve is this is it's a problem that I have lived. So
Right.
back in 2016, my very first startup was Ask an Expert, and you know, we we didn't have developers in Nigeria. Our developers were in India, and it was very very difficult to send money to them. And so one of them told me, "Oh, why don't you use Bitcoin?" And that was how I got into the Bitcoin space.
Yeah.
But I now discovered that I can actually use Bitcoin to actually send money. So I thought it to myself that, oh, it would just be nice, for me to be able to just send money to, to someone in India. Today, I can tell you for free, today, like, I don't know how to send money from Nigeria to Ethiopia. I don't even think there's a solution. There is no solution from
That
sending money.
exists today. Mm.
Yes, Nigeria to Ethiopia. I can. It's same thing from Ghana to Ethiopia, from South Africa, probably South Africa because they are more advanced. But so you find out that it is very easy to send money from the West, send money from UK, US to all these countries. But sending within Africa or out of Africa is a problem, especially for trades, people who are doing trades among themselves, people who have families. Me here, you want to send money to you in Europe, it is very, very difficult, So that is the problem we're trying to solve. So what is Yolat? So we focus on two types of customers. One is the individual people that me, you, who want to send money to our friends, to support our family, to support our businesses. And secondly, businesses who want to fulfill an invoice. They are into importation. They import in Ghana, import in Nigeria, and they need to pay their supplier in China, in Kenya. One of our customers that we just onboarded yesterday, they import flowers from Kenya, and the way they solve their problem, they call someone. Oh, do you know someone who needs money in Kenya? Do you know? Because there's really no direct route.
There's no,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
so that is the problem we are trying to solve. For individual remittances, those who want to send money abroad, or those who want to send money for business payments.
Nice, nice. So when you say that, one of the problems that customers are facing with sending money back and forth within Africa, right?
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest challenge? Is it like the infrastructure just not available, or is it like restrictions, or just the government not just making that happen?
So it's a mix of everything. One is there's really no clear regulatory there's no clear regulatory clarity. There's no regulatory clarity around it.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
That's one. Two, there is no infrastructure. So it's a infrastructure and regulatory thing, and I'll explain both of them. So regulatory in the sense that ideally a country like Nigeria is import dependent. The CBN or the regulators should not encourage you to be sending money out, because if you are sending money out, like what happens to local production? They want to improve or encourage local production, so they will not ideally, encourage you to
To send money out.
well, that's one. Secondly, we the reserve of the central bank is depleting. There's no dollars. So why should they encourage you to be taking FX out of? So that's why there's always restrictions around these things to say, oh, this is the allowance for PTA, that's personal travel allowance. This is the allowance for imports. These are the sectors that we can only allow you to import, because again, it's all about the reserve. It's all about the reserve. But the thing is, the problem still needs to be solved, because people need to travel abroad. People need to pay. People need to invoice. So people use alternate channels. People use alternate channels like Bureau de Change, physical cash. People start calling their friends. Oh, do you have someone that have dollars? Do you have someone that has pounds?
I heard that one a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone will call you, or you are in a WhatsApp group. Say, or someone say, oh, please, who has Naira? I have euro. Who have euro? I have Naira. So people, that's one. The second reason is also infrastructure. There is going to be an infrastructure, with what the Afrexim Bank and PAPS are doing, which is they are trying to connect all the central banks and African banks together to have a switch. The way we have in Nigeria, there's something called the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, where you can move money from GT Bank to Fidelity Bank or another bank, and it happens in microseconds. That is the same way. They are trying to build something called PAPS, where we can connect all African currencies. But it's still a very long way to go. Still a very long road to go, which is another maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 years to go, because it is not easy building such a system that will talk from Ghana to South Africa. But we have a solution today. The way our infrastructure is built, it can speak to multiple switches at once. It can settle. So today on our platform, I can send money from Nigeria to Ghana, and it's going to arrive in seconds.
Instantly. Yeah.
I can send money from Nigeria to Cameroon. It will appear in seconds. To Kenya in seconds. To South Africa in less than a minute. So we are building those rails that will, really solve these problems. And our focus is working with individuals, working with, small and micro businesses who have that pressing, 5,000 Kenyan shillings, 10,000, 20,000 Kenyan shillings to move across Africa and most especially, out of the world. So, I'm sorry, I said out of the world, out of Africa.
Very soon.
Yes,
Very soon.
that's sending money to space.
To Mars. Very soon. Okay.
So the goal is to build all these payment rails, all this infrastructure, um, and we have started laying the blocks. Today, we can send to over 15 countries, most of them within Africa. We can send to bank, mobile money, send to Alipay, send to WeChat. So yeah, we are it's a long marathon for us, and we're playing the long game, so we are doing it one step at a time.
Amazing. Amazing. I have two questions, right? I'm going to bundle them up because I don't want them to skip my mind because they're very, very, they're just pressing on me. Okay. One is you've talked a lot about regulations, right? And I know that the fintech space in Nigeria, worldwide anyway, is a very, regulatory, heavy industry, right? So from your perspective, how does that translate into your branding? By the way, speaking of your branding, whoever is behind your branding is just kudos to that person. But how do you as Yolat translate those, I don't know, the PCI, DSS, the what's it called, the SOC, all those very heavy restrictions? How do you translate them into your messaging? How do you translate them into into the voice of your brand to ensure that people still trust you backwards? And then, we joke about the world thing right now and how, you have some countries that you represent in Africa and some countries that you also represent, like Canada, outside Africa.
Yeah.
How do those regulations rather, translate on a global scale, right? Does it change? Does it, what does it look like when you move from Africa to another
Yeah.
country like that? Yeah.
So for us, and I'll answer your questions from two perspectives. One
Great.
is we working with regulators. You can't be in this space where you move money, a lot of it, without working with regulators. So we prioritize it. One is we work with banks because we have direct bank integrations. We work with regulators because we send reports to them. They do an audit on us to say, how are you guys doing? How are you monitoring transactions? What are the processes you've put in place? What are your laws around the people that you onboard? So for us on our platform, when a customer is signing up today, we check your name against OFAC list. If your name has been on a sanction list, we do facial recognition, liveness check, and match it with the ID that you are giving to us. Again, we use AI to do this, to ensure that your onboarding is instant. So that's why the only reason why your onboarding to Yolat will not be instant is if we find something wrong or something not accurate.
In
So
the process.
yes, in the process, still case practice. Someone yesterday, she was trying to register on Yolat, and it kept bouncing her back. So she reached out to support, and I said, I'm interested in the case. So I checked it. I saw that the ID that she was trying to verify does not specifically says the expiry date. It just says valid ID, but it does not says this is, it doesn't have those
Until
that's
when?
yeah. So the system flagged it like there's something wrong here. Like I don't know any ID that doesn't have expiry date, and
Right.
and that's because it's a provisional driver's license by one foreign country. So I checked it and reviewed it, and I said, oh, we had to ask her, do you have any other form of ID? So, yes, she has a passport. And okay, so please, can you use your passport or can you email it to us just so that, we are sure of your identity? So, we check all these things and we work with regulators. Then we now put checks in place. You cannot come to our platform and say, oh, I want to send $1 million. Nah, just like that. You have to, we have to work, grow with you the way when you build trust with us. And that's where people also need to understand with fintech and building that brand. The way you are skeptical about us, we are also skeptical about you. The same way you are saying, oh, does this platform work? Is it is my money safe? We are also careful. Who are you? Who are you sending the money to? What are you paying for? What are you sending it for? Because we don't want to facilitate something that is against our individual values and also against a country's a country's policy. Say you are sending money for
Like
unsolicited
terrorism
items.
and all those things. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Financing terrorism. You are paying for, armed ammunitions. You are paying for precious metals. So that is why. So for some of the businesses that we deal with, they say, oh, I need to send $100,000 to China. And I question, oh, do you have an invoice for it? Say, oh, yes, I have an invoice. And you see someone bring an invoice, but your company, the what you are paying for is um it's something funny. I don't want to mention names. It's something funny. But what your company does when we onboarded you is different.
Different.
So we reject, this type of things. So one is when in branding this, especially with fintech, the same way we want the customers to trust us, we also are trying to also trust the customer, and that's why we do all these checks. Second thing is in I forgot the second part. So how do we get the customers to sort of build um
Yeah.
trust, right? Yeah. So or communicate that they can trust us. I think first is the first question you asked me, and that's why I said where everyone starts from is can get one believer. When you get one believer, that believer tells his friends. This is why
And
people
pass it
post a
on.
lot of faces on their page. You know, I've had people ask me, "Do you have an office space? Do you have? Is there?" Because they want to be sure. Oh, who is the CEO behind it? That's why you see me. I post myself on my page. I talk about it every time. People see me on the road and call me Mr. Yolat. And it
Nice.
makes it makes my day. It makes my day. You know. So in communicating the brand, you have to. It cannot be a faceless brand. Your customer service or customer support. Your people need to go on that page and see people, real people. It sort of builds confidence that okay, at least I know this person. That's how people also work with influencers. You work with influencers. They know that okay, this influencer, this so-called popular person will not work with a scam page, or so that's
Yeah, there's that
that's what
trust attached. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
people use.
So you mentioned about AI, right? And there's no way, in tech today you can have a conversation and not mention that there's AI in the room, right? So in fintech today, because you mentioned a lot about, just verifying the customer as much as they're also verifying you. And these days, the deep fake out there is outrageous, right? So I'm sure you're already seeing those kind of things happening in your space, like in the fintech space. So how is that being controlled, right, today?
Yeah. So for us, we work with a lot of work with multiple people, and one key thing for us, like very very important, especially in our space, is the onboarding phase. First is the onboarding phase, because the onboarding lets you know who you are, who you are dealing with. So far, maybe because we are a growing brand or we're a growing company, we've not had anyone use deep fake, like a fake ID. We've seen bad IDs. We've seen um um people try some funny things like use somebody else ID, but we've not seen an actual fake ID. But it's something that we speak to our partner every time, to ask, how are you? Because I know we will get there. I know people, because you can't, and let me tell you how. So, I mentioned referral, and people say referral bonus. Because I've been in this space, that is one place people attack you first. You'll find one person having millions of accounts, thousands of accounts, sorry, because he'll be trying to earn referral bonus. A friend of mine, who owns a similar company, posted on his page that, they lost over $60,000 to just referral attack. And how was it happening? They will register, use the referral code to, register another account, use the referral code to register another account. They were gaming the system, and when I spoke to him, because one thing also try to encourage in the industry is, let's start sharing data with each other. Let me know with this guy so I can quickly block him on my own system. Any bad actor on my system, I pass it on to you. And so immediately it comes, you just flag that this guy is a bad actor. So what I have learned over the years is, you need to have the right provider, and that's, for us, we don't even have one. We have multiple. We work with multiple people, to guarantee redundancy. So in case one ID person, misses it, it's expensive, but it's the price we have to pay, to ensure that, we can't beat these deep fakes that they are trying to register. And also putting in patterns, like once you approve someone, they should not be able to just do thousands. That's why transaction monitoring tools are super, super important, because they help, even if you miss a fake person, someone has registered on your platform as Elon Musk, even though he's not Elon Musk, you use Elon Musk face, Elon Musk ID, it should not come and move $30,000 at once, or move money,
Under a
so
fake identity. Yeah.
your fake identity. In case you miss it in the onboarding, you should not miss it in the flow of transactions. And so those are some of the things that, we sort of put in place.
Okay, let's switch back to branding for a while, right? And let's talk about learning points, right? From your perspective as Yolat, and maybe from other companies that you've seen, or other companies that you are, trying to emulate. Maybe not, but what are those things that you've seen other brands in the fintech space do from a branding perspective that you say, I don't know if that's the right way to go about it? Like, you feel like they're making a mistake, and also looking inward, right? What are those things that you've done and it didn't work because, when you put it out, the customers didn't receive it properly? So what are those learning points from your internal perspective and outwardly, right? That you can, point out for other fintech companies to learn from?
So I think, I'll start with learnings of things that have worked for us. And I
Right.
think it's in the brand voice. Again, we are still in the journey of trying to figure it out, because I don't think we are there yet. But one thing that has really worked for us, and I've seen it in a couple of places, is being in places or in conversations that everyone is talking about. So I'll give you a case practice. So we did one thing one time. There was Met Gala. So the case category, there was Met Gala. Met Gala in the US. Is it Met Gala? Yeah. Everyone was talking about it. So we just decided on the team that, oh, you know what? We want to join the conversation, but how can we join this conversation, with who we are, you know? And what we started doing was, we started comparing how people dress with currencies,
Mm.
because we deal with currencies. So we start saying, oh, why don't you vote? Why don't you? And on our page, we saw it sort of people started
We
sharing,
picked.
people started sharing the picture. Again, it has put our name in conversations that people are present in. We've joined, I'll call it a trend, but we've done the trend in a way that it is, we're not just trying to say, oh, posting clothes or posting beautiful looks. We've joined the conversation in a way that, okay, you see, but you still see currencies. And then some people are saying, okay, what do you guys do? Then it's as because we saw a couple of conversion from that. Conversion in terms of following, conversion in terms of actual people that actually registered on the app. That's one. Second is people love relatability, is one thing I have also learned. They want to feel relatable to your brand. And how has that played a role for us is people loved, there was when, or maybe before the relatability, I I think what is in vogue now, which I am trying to do, I don't know if I'm doing it perfectly yet, but is a founder-led communication strategy. And when I say founder-led communication strategy, it starts with the big guy himself, Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
Go and check his page. Mark is a creator of he's a creator because he works with creators. He has become a creator. You will see him dancing, you will see him doing some funny things. One Captain America video he released some days ago. Same thing with Elon. Elon is CEO of Twitter. This guy tweets like he doesn't have a job. Like he's tweeting every 2 hours. You see a tweet from Elon, and what is showing is using his platform, but beyond using his platform, is communication is coming from him. So it's not, you cannot separate the CEO of sorry, you cannot separate Elon and Twitter. Like when you think Elon, yeah, same thing. When you think Mark, you think Meta. The same way I am also trying to, do, and I think we will get there, which is right now a lot of people that started the journey with us, there are people that follow me on Instagram, people who want to support the journey. And why are they supporting the journey? Is because I feel like I've carried them along, in this is what we are trying to do. These are the challenges. This is how it is going for us. Today is a good day at the office. Today is a bad day at the office. Oh, today we launch X and Y corridor. And you see that these people, they will share on their story. Some of our customers, when we ask, oh, how did you find out about us? So one of my friend sent it on, put it on her story, and she tried to check us out. So a founder-led strategy is working for us, a communication strategy, because again, we are working with a brand that people want to be sure that this guy, my money won't, get hanged. This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy is experienced in this space. Um, then the relatability of our brand, where we try not to be too serious, come in a very open way. We do some funny things, I'm not sure we are doing it right yet, because we are also learning, what else? I think the most important thing in our space is we need to be willing to take risk with the brand. When I say risk, put out some creatives, see if people resonate with it, see if people, um, like it, and then you continue that pattern. You see, people don't respond, it doesn't work. We try again, it doesn't work. You change the strategy. So we are doing a lot of trial and error to really, really find out
Find what sticks.
what sticks here.
Okay, let's just wrap it up by bringing it back home with topic on trust, right? You mentioned that, for example, someone heard about Yolat, and then they heard about Yolat through someone that shared on their story, for example, right?
Yeah.
But on a broader scheme, right? What metrics do you track, right? That signals that you are gaining trust from your users.
The most important signal is somebody putting money on the platform.
Of course.
That's the most important signal. But we've noticed that every campaign that we run, we try to attach so when you are onboarding, there's a referral code. In fact, today, like when I tell people register, so yeah, they sometimes they call me about what's your referral code. I'll be like, no, I don't want to know. Just register, because people are used to it. So that's one important metric that we look at how many people are sharing their referral code. We look at it. Okay, last week we had maybe 10 people use the referral code. The previous week, it has increased. So more people are sharing. With more people sharing, we look at the other metric. How many of them are going from registration to completing KYC, from completing KYC to completing their first transaction. After completing their first transaction, do they come back? How long did it take them to come back? And the thing about remittances, or the space that we play in, is there is a space where it's not like Instagram that you log in every second. It's a thing that the average time is 30 days. That is, it's either you are sending money once every month. You're sending money home. Sometimes you could want to do, maybe something comes up, but most of the time it's once every month. The second pattern is people who want to pay for businesses invoice. They come every every other month, because they bought now, or else they are buying something else again. They bought, they've sold, they come back, upper month. So those metrics, we try to see, how many of our users are returning users. We have the data on our side, and it's a metric that for us, when we started, again, just backstory, we started with just a landing page, just a simple website, and I wasn't even expecting people to use it. I was just, let me just say, let's put out something there, let's put something out there to gain trust, to just let people know that we are building something. But I noticed people started using it. All I can tell you today, when we launched October 24 last year, or maybe September 24 last year, those guys that were using that messed up website, and they struggled and just ended up, till date, they are still using the platform. They are still using
Wow.
the mobile app. So they followed us on our journey. In fact, some of them says, "Oh, I'm really, really impressed." You get that type of communication. I'm
Comments,
really
yeah.
impressed that you guys, now this is way better. Thank God I don't have to be logging in every time, because now we now have biometric login. You can just log in with your Face ID. Oh, congrats to you guys. We get those type of emails, or some send to our DMs to say, oh, the user experience is way better. So you find out that beyond solving the problem, we've also built some form of loyalty. In fact, I don't even know how to reward some of these people yet,
Right.
but find out that, like, this is one of, like, why did you stick with us? Like, if it was me, like, when this thing was not working, I wouldn't.
Was
But some of
cranky.
them stayed. Some of them stayed and say, oh, just keep going. No, I'll keep using it like that. Some of them are my friends, so I'm grateful. But some of them are people I don't even know, from the, and I'm saying this because there was one man that did a transaction maybe last week. I saw the name. I was like, this man was the
From the
first week we launched.
beginning.
Yeah, it was there. So it's still here. So I had to call him. I said, oh, my name is Toyosi. I'm the CEO of Yolat. You know, so I was wondering, like, why do you still use this app? He said, I use it every month to send money to my children. Like, the process of him having to go to another platform, and our system worked. it worked for him, and now he's just happy now that there's a mobile app, and the mobile app is even better. And now, he can now send to the UK. Then he made some feature requests. Oh, can you people help me do virtual card? I said, no, don't worry, we are going to do all that for you. So yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, there's nothing more comforting than to hear like the thing you built is actually improving the lives of other people. So it's like it's really moving.
Yeah.
So thank you for all the good that you're putting out in the world. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And to us, it's not, we tell ourselves in the team that it is not about sending money. To us, it's not, we don't want you to send, it's not sending money, that, because it is the why you are sending money. If you are sending money home to your mom, to your dad, is because you want to feel responsible, or you want to appreciate them for all the investments they've made in your life. If you are sending money because you want to buy a house, you send money because you want to buy a house, is because you want to feel some form of accomplishment, or you want to start a business. You're sending money, oh, I want to start a new business. Our goal is to help you fulfill that dream. Our goal is to help you build that trust with that friend, with that your partner. So we want to sit in the middle of you achieving that big thing in your life, you doing that thing you call normal. Oh, because sending money cross border to another country is a big act. You think about it, and we want to ensure that you are getting more value for your money. That's why our rates are some of the best in the market. We want to ensure that the user experience is so smooth, and we want to be in your story. Every money that you are sending is you are telling a story. So we want to be in that story, and we want to be a part of that journey. Now the man is sending money for his child, who is paying his school fees, who is studying abroad. We want to be in those people's journey. We want to be at the center of it, all through the child stays
In school.
in school. When the child finishes in school, now it's now time to start doing the reciprocal. The child want to be sending money
Send to the
back
father.
home. Want to be there. We want to be there. We want to be a part of every family story. So that's really why we are in business.
Thank you very much, Toyosi. This has been really, really inspiring. So thank you for sharing your stories. I'll just leave you with one last question. And I think it's also kind of related to what you were just talking about, about how the bigger why is how Yolat is contributing to the lives of the people that use, the platform. So one thing I want to do is I want to ask every guest one question at the end of the session, which is, if you could make one rule, right, that will have to be adopted by everyone on earth, right? What rule would that be?
Yeah, the only thing that comes to mind, to be honest, is the greatest commandment that God gave us, which is love one another, the way you love yourself. So if there's one rule, is just don't do unto others what you don't want them to do to yourself. And this can be applicable to everything, to our business, to our relationships, to family. So my rule number one is just don't do unto others what you can't do to yourself. Yeah, and use Yolat.
Of course. Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you so
much,
much.
Toyosi, for
Thank
your
you.
time. It's been a great conversation. Have yourself an amazing day.
Thank you so much. Bye.